Welcome to Second Listen Saturday on the Parenting Roundabout podcast, where we share some fun moments from a past episode for your weekend listening pleasure. Look for new episodes every Monday through Friday.
Today we are talking about whether we are or ever have been casserole people or spoon people.
Yes.
So this came from the podcast 4 Things with Amy Brown, which Terry has discovered as an offshoot of her Bobby Bones fandom.
Exactly. Yes. I now have Amy Brown fandom as well.
And so she did this segment, and it's basically like, you know, one of those there's 2 kinds of people things. And it's when there's a sign up for a school party or any kind of gathering. Are you the person who tries to get there first so you can sign up to bring spoons or napkins or, you know, something you just buy and bring? Or are you the kind of person who wants to make a nice casserole and bring it? And Amy talked in her segment, she talks about how, like, wouldn't it be nice if we were all striving to be casserole people, basically. Like, yes, it's hard to be a casserole person at all times. So it was a little bit of a guilt trip if you're a spoon person, which I for sure am.
You know, but who's going to eat that fancy casserole without spoons and forks, let me ask you? And how are you going to wash it down? And what are you going to wipe your mouth off with? Everybody has something to contribute.
And let's remember, as has been admitted on this podcast, I once tried to bring a turnip dish to a potluck.
Oh my goodness.
They said, that's okay, Catherine.
People really are like, please bring spoons next time. But her point was like, it was more about sort of trying to take the easy way out, I think.
Yeah, casserole people are the ones who go above and beyond, and spoon people just kind of show up. Which, honestly, to just show up is a lot for me right now, so.
Spoon people know their strengths. They know their areas of strengths, right?
Right.
And they're just, you know, making the most of what they're capable of doing at the time.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I thought that she proposed something that sounded to me like a really good compromise, although she was still feeling guilty about it because that's what we do. But she had mentioned that she couldn't cook something for somebody was ill and there was something set up to make things for the family, and she couldn't quite get it together to cook something, so she asked what their favorite takeout was and brought that, which I thought, bingo!
I love
that's
that
what I'm
idea.
going to do from now on forever.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think that possibly the family would appreciate their favorite takeout over, say, a turnip casserole.
Yeah.
You assume that the thing that you are going to lovingly make.
Catherine, that would not be welcome in my house.
You know,
that's part of the reason why I struggle with when I'm invited to contribute a meal, because I'm like, I don't know what to make. I know. I'm scared that whatever I make they're not going to like it. And it's silly because in the past, whenever I've received meals, I have been so grateful to get it that I could care less what it is, you know, unless it's like shrimp.
Right. But you never know. I mean, if there's kids involved, some kids are finicky, or you don't make it exactly the way the mom makes it, and so they're not going to be happy with it, or there's, you know, something in it that they don't care for. It just seems like if you're trying to give people the lowest stress, highest comfort experience possible, bring them something you know they're going to like.
Right.
I like that idea a lot. Thanks, Amy. But do you feel like you've changed in your life? Was there a time when you were a casserole person and a time when you said, you know what, life's too short, I'm going to buy spoons? I feel like in the early days of my kid's life, I was way into doing everything, you know, above and beyond, and being the perfect parent. And maybe before that, when I worked in offices, I had specialties that I made and all that. But especially with kids, I feel like you feel like Halloween has to be perfect, and, you know, with the, you know, detailed, multi-layered costume and the perfect candy to hand out and presents for every school official and all this stuff, and Valentine's Day, and that, you know, Christmas has to be just so, oh my goodness, if Christmas isn't just, well, you've talked about this, Nicole, if it isn't just the Norman Rockwell painting, what is wrong with you? You're a terrible parent. And then after, I think you hit a point where you just say, you know what, showing up is pretty good. I'm going to just pat myself on the back for showing up. And then you have to start forgiving yourself for the times when you don't even bring spoons, when you just stand in the back of the room and furtively take a brownie and hope nobody notices you didn't bring something. And that becomes your guilt trip. But it's like, you know, it's maybe like with romance too. You know, you start your life thinking you have this perfect ideal mate, and then at some point you just realize that somebody is, and this sounds terrible, but it's true, good enough. You know what I mean? No, I cast no aspersions on my husband or anybody's husbands, but you realize that the above and beyond things you were thinking were essential really aren't.
Right.
And you need somebody who's going to just show up. So, I don't know. It's complicated, but it's an interesting dichotomy.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I used to try and just, you know, that whole, you know, because you mentioned that whole Norman Rockwell thing. I used to try, but I'm not a confident cook, so there's just no way.
Right.
But you get really nice spoons, right? You get the really good sturdy
high quality.
ones.
The ones that are painted gold and silver. The plastic ones.
But also compostable, right?
Yes. Not just the ones that are in a baggie in the bottom shelf of the grocery store. You go to the party store and the 12-ounce cups.
Exactly. Colored napkins.
That's right. With a theme.
And see, my husband is, like, if I get him, like, we had to do, did I tell you this? Earlier, last month, whenever I had, like, 3 huge skating events back to back to back on a weekend. And for one of them, we were required to bring something for the bake sale. And,
oh, dear.
You know, I would just buy it, especially in that scenario where I had 3 huge things happening at the same time. But so I said, can you do this? Can you please just handle the bake sale? And of course, him being him, extra.
Yes, so he's a casserole person.
Oh, yeah. And he makes this, like, major, you know, he makes these really cool cookies that look like little tiny cups of hot chocolate. And he bought a special new baking tray to make them in. But then, you know, 2 days before or whatever, he's like, oh, I said, well, because he bought this baking tray because he thought they would look really cool if they were presented on this tray. I'm like, yeah, they would, but they have to be individually wrapped.
Oh, no.
And then he's like,
no.
Can you buy the baggies? I'm like, no, I can't. Like, I gave you one job, and this is part of it, and I am not, like, making a special trip to the store to buy you baggies. So he packed them in baggies that we already had, but... You know your strength.
Wow. Yes, definitely. Wow. I do you feel like, do you notice this in your kids? Do you think your kids are casserole people or spoon people, or do they expect you to be a casserole or a spoon person on your behalf? Mom, there's a bake sale. Bake something fancy.
No, I think my kids know me now. They know me, but they know me. They're like, yeah, we're not expecting you to, you know, do anything fancy. Just order, Mom. Just place the order. Just pick it up and deliver it. We'll be fine. We know
you're good at that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, do they, like, feel pressure to go over the top themselves?
No. Not at all.
You've raised them right.
I know. Last week, well, no, it was Valentine's Day, the week before. You know, for like the 4th year in a row, my daughter doesn't bring Halloween candy for her. I guess in their yearbook class, they share Halloween candy. And my daughter,
they share Halloween candy on Valentine's Day?
I mean, Valentine's Day candy,
okay.
She also doesn't bring Halloween candy.
Really be a spoon thing is to bring your old Halloween candy on Valentine's Day.
Candy that you've been saving.
I'm sure these Snickers are fine. They've been in the freezer. Just let them thaw a little bit. Yeah, I don't think my kids have any expectations of stuff like that at all. In fact, I'm sometimes pushing them to go a little above and beyond, and they're like, eh.
Right.
Yeah,
is that necessary? I don't know.
No.
Nobody's expecting me to do that. I'm not going to do that.
My
Also,
poor
you don't
kids.
want to like set a example that you then have to continue to.
True.
You know what I mean? And not an example,
Yes.
an expectation. That
Set expectations low early in your life, children, and then nobody will ever expect you to do anything. And you can just, if you throw a pack of napkins on the table, they're going to be all happy.
you're like,
Look what you did!
Look.
Even if you just bring one for yourself.
So I don't think my kids are even inclined that way. I mean, maybe if, my kids were inclined to be, wanting to put something together, or maybe I would be a little bit more enthusiastic about it, but yeah, maybe I guess I just raised them to not care.
Maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe people are going to stop caring about that stuff. That would be a healthy step forward, except bake sales will
but
get a
then
lot more boring.
Yeah, nothing
Bake sales
would
will be
get
all
done.
prepackaged stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always going to be like those type A people who need some outlet, like whether it's
True.
the bake sale or the parent teacher conference meals, or they need something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That'll be if nothing else, the next generation of spoon people will have casserole moms back home saying, "Can I bake something for your child's bake sale, please?"
Yeah.
It's Grandma will send the stuff in.
Hey, that works.
Overachieving grandmas.
That totally works. I could see my
Yeah.
mom doing that if she lived here, and because
Right.
she can't sit still, like she needs stuff to do all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. See, my mom was the mom who brought the casseroles, but nobody wanted her to bring them.
Because they were made of sprouts.
Yeah.
Oh.
She took all the sugar out, or she
Oh.
put in extra blueberries or something.
Oh. Don't let Nicole's mom sign up for anything. Oh, I'm sorry, the list is full. That's okay. Spoons are good.
Next time.
Yeah.
And there will never be a next time.
Well, interesting discussion. But I think
Yeah.
it's just really, don't, before you start guilting yourself, just think to yourself, what am I really good at? And then
Right.
just stick with that.
If you're really
Don't-
good at shirking responsibilities,
If you're really good at dialing,
just
go
yeah.
for it.
If you're good at ordering out,
Yeah,
it's a gift.
that's it. As my husband says, she's better at dialing than being in the kitchen, so we'll just go with that.